Origin stories from the Ball Brothers team.
You're listening to Home Sellers Advantage. I'm your host, Aaron Zapata.
And I'm your other host, Todd Anderson. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253.
That's us.
That's us. And we are going to share our origins.
Yes. In fact, before we sold homes, we actually existed.
We did.
So
we did exist.
Yeah. Although the home existed prior to the Ball Brothers team and prior to when I was born and when you were born.
The idea of a home.
No, homes existed.
No, exactly. Homes existed. What I'm saying is that...
What are you saying?
If we are selling your home, it doesn't mean that your home existed before we existed.
Not particularly your home,
yeah.
But homes in general.
My home was built in 2013, so...
Well, my home was built before I was born.
Yeah.
So I am living in a home before I was... Yeah, that was built before I was born.
Yeah.
So, back to the origin. I was up in Dinuba, California this weekend.
Tell the folks where Dinuba is.
Well, that's what we're doing the whole
How many people
story
know?
on. Just kidding. If you know where Dinuba is, you'd be like 1 in 12 people that I know. So Dinuba is a little town kind of between Visalia and Fresno. If you are on the 99 headed north or south, you get to Kingsburg and you head towards the mountains, you go east, you'll run into Dinuba. Most of you, if you've been to Yosemite or to the Sierra Nevadas from Southern California, have exited the 99 at Visalia and then got off the next exit and went straight north. And you would have gone through my hometown. In fact, you would have split the difference between the two homes that I lived in Dinuba, because one of them would have been on your left and one of them would have been on your right. And so a little bit of my background is I was born in that small town, and my dad is a design engineer. So he worked for manufacturing companies making equipment. One of the coolest things that I think he made was the de-stemmer for Sun-Maid raisins. And so
wow.
If you get raisins from Sun-Maid and they don't have stems on them, back in the day, he developed the machine that would tumble and clamp onto the little stems and pull them off.
You can thank Aaron's family for that.
Yeah, so, and there's a bunch of other things that he designed that you've all been affected by. But so I was raised in this small town and went to Washington Elementary and Washington Junior High. They had two different locations. One was a junior high, one was an elementary school. I also went to Lincoln Elementary, and I was raised with an older brother and two younger sisters in this small town. And my grandparents lived about 8 minutes away, and they lived out in the countryside, and my grandfather owned and operated Weeby Farms. And Weeby Farms is a peach and nectarine farm, and that is where I learned the basics about hard work, work ethic, working with people of all different backgrounds and different, whatever it is. I mean, we saw so many different people through the farm. We saw different customers. I watched my grandfather operate a business as a small business owner. I saw the field workers. I saw the packers. In fact, my first job was at the shed. And it was twofold. One is I had to take the cardboard boxes from the boxing machine, the machine that made boxes, it didn't box you, and I had to put them onto the conveyor belt so that the packers could take those and put them in front of them and then pack them with peaches and nectarines and all the good fruit that you guys enjoy. Long before when I was there, long ago, that was before Costco even existed, and Costco now sells the Weeby Farms fruit. So if you have enjoyed the I Am Ripe peaches from Costco, that is from, some of those are from my family farm. So that's pretty exciting for me. So we drove up there this weekend. I got to go to the shed. I got to take my son through the shed where I worked. And I also showed him the second part of my job, which was sweeping. I had to learn how to use a broom, a push broom specifically, and to sweep large spots. I mean, I had to sweep that shed so many times growing up.
You could have tried out for the U.S. curling team.
You know what? It was practice for the curling team, and I did not know it. If curling existed in my mind at that point, it probably would have said this would have been good. But you know what? As a kid growing up, I learned how to work hard. I learned that you work till the job is done. There would be times that even though I was a youth, a young lad, they say, we would work until late at night, because when the fruit was ready to be picked, you picked the fruit, you packed the fruit, and then you had to clean the shed. So all of the packers would go home, but then the workers, like us, the shed workers, would have to sweep and clean and get everything ready for the next day. So those were long days. There were some days we put in more than 12 hours. And as a 14-year-old, I didn't work the whole 12 hours. I kind of got to go take a nap and go like ride my bike and eat fudgesicles that my grandma gave me. But in the meantime, I would come back and I would work till late to get that place closed down. So that's kind of the origin story. After that, moved to the Bay Area, lived in the Bay Area for 5 years with my family. My dad got a new job, developed some other cool software, and some cooking machines. So I'll just bring my dad up one more time. But if you have eaten pizza at, I think, Round Table, and also went to Red Robin or Burger King, they developed food cooking equipment that is used at those places. So again, pretty cool stuff. But then after that, went to Biola down here in Southern California, where I met my now wife. We've just celebrated our 30 years. We met at Biola. We got married before we graduated, moved off campus, lived nearby campus, and then moved to North Orange County about 7 years after that when we started our family. And we've been in that location ever since. So my wife and I live there now. Our oldest is now graduated from college and is living in Kentucky. Meanwhile, our second son is in the middle of college, about ready to start his junior year. So that's a little bit about me.
Now,
Farm boy
now you know.
to the city to SoCal.
And inventions going from fresh food to fast food.
That's right. That's true. So true.
Fresh food to fast food.
That's right. And yeah, so that's it. So
Yeah.
I thought you'd like, whether or not you like it or no. You know what? Okay, here's an interesting story before I go to Todd. So I posted a video this weekend from the farm, and a lady from my church says, "Is that Reedley?" Which is where my grandparents live. I says, "It is." And she's like, "Do you have family there?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is where I'm at. These are my uncle's nectarines." And she's like, "What was the name of the farm?" And so the name of the farm came up, and she's like, "My brother and his 3 kids worked at farms out there," and it turns out they worked at my grandparents' farm.
Wow.
Small world.
Small world.
Small world. So that's it.
Well, my origin story, I don't actually have an origin story. I'm a product of AI. I'm an AI construct. I just became self-aware a few days ago. I'm still learning things. No, I'm just kidding. So my origin story, I moved around a little bit. I lived 6 years in Minnesota. I was originally born in Minneapolis and grew up in the Twin Cities area. And then when I was 6 years old, so Minnesota, I was with all the Swedes, and so all my Swedish relatives were there. Grew up, and by the way, Minnesota is a beautiful state. There's a lot of fishing if you like fishing, a lot of outdoor type of stuff. But when I was 6 years old, my parents moved to the mission field in Okinawa at a Christian school there in the southern part of Okinawa, and I lived there for 6 years. And then when I was 12, 13 years old, I moved to America. I like to say I moved to America. I came back to the States and moved to Prescott. Many of you might be familiar with the town of, you might call it Prescott.
Which is what I did for most of my life.
But regular people who live there, you can always tell if somebody is from Prescott or not by how they pronounce it. But Prescott is where I lived.
Like biscuit.
Yeah, like Biscuit, Prescott. It was a small town. At the time, it was like about 30,000 people. It's much larger now.
Okay, so by comparison?
Dinuba
was like 5,000.
Oh, really?
You
were tiny, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was the head of my class. I was the only one in my class. Just kidding.
And you had houses there?
We lived in the farm.
Lived on the farm.
Yeah.
They lived
I
in a
lived
bunch
in the
of
shed.
tent. They were gypsies.
So 30,000.
Yeah, about 30,000 people there. Yeah, so we had one high school and graduated and came out to Biola University in La Mirada, and that's how I ended up in California. And that's how I met this guy when I was a freshman at Biola. That's where I met Aaron. And actually, fun story or fun tidbit. You know where this is going. I met his wife before he met his wife. So our freshman year, when you do orientation and that sort of thing, I met Dawn because of the fact that we were both from Arizona. She's from Lake Havasu City. I was from Prescott, but we were both from Arizona, and so a couple other people. And so I met his wife before he did. He married her, and I met my wife also at Biola. And then we graduated, went our separate ways. I went into the ministry as a pastor and spent several years, but then I ended up picking up my real estate license back in what's close to about 9 years ago, something I can't remember.
A long time.
Oh, a long time ago. Got my real estate license, and Aaron found out I was practicing real estate. I was selling real estate, and he reached out to me and asked if I'd be interested in joining his team. Joined his team, and then we decided to start working together. And that's the very abridged version of the origin story.
How many kids do you have now?
I have many. Just kidding. I have 3 kids. 3 kids, 3 adult daughters. My oldest daughter is Kayla. She is 26 currently, as of today's date. She's at an age where you can tell the age. I can tell the age. She's 26, and she's in the fitness industry.
Scratch that from the record.
I have to go back and cut that out now. And my middle daughter's 25, and then our youngest is about to go into her senior year of college. So she's turning 21 on Saturday.
So he raises daughters, I raise boys, and you know what? We work well together. We have gelled well in terms of how we handle our clients, and it's been a true blessing to both of our families to work together. I didn't say much about where I went to after Biola. And so I did like 9 months at a bank, at Wells Fargo to be specific, and then Wells Fargo merged with First Interstate Bank at the time. I think it was First Interstate. And they gave precedence and priority to the full-time workers from the other bank. And so being young and being married and needing to provide for my wife and not having the hours, I had to look elsewhere, and a job at a real estate company opened up. And I have been in real estate ever since. So it's easy for me to track like how long I've been in real estate, because my whole life is like, okay, I got married, and then 9 months later I got into real estate. So I'm coming up here on literally next month, it'll be 30 years working in the industry. So that's a long time.
It's old.
Yeah, right. But we met at Biola the same year.
Yeah, so same year. I'm the same age.
Tells you how old he is.
Actually, I'm older than you.
It's true.
I'm 3 months older.
That's right. So anyways, we just thought, when you work with somebody, I think that where they came from and their background does have a huge impact in their lives and in the way they carry themselves into a transaction. And so we have a very diverse background. We've got, he lived overseas. I lived in Central Valley, then went to the Bay Area, went to Southern California. Those are 3 completely different places to live, and it felt like 3 different countries, really. So, that's just who we are.
Yep.
And you know what we do now?
We sell homes.
Yes, we do. So hopefully you enjoyed this, learning a little bit more about us, and hopefully when you have a home that you want to buy or sell, that you will call us. What's your phone number?
833-305-2253, 833-305-BALD.
That's right, because we're the Bald Brothers team. And until next time, God bless.
Thanks for listening to the Home Sellers Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.